Hello students, today we are going to learn the topic basic addition and subtraction. Today, let's explore how we add and take away numbers and why these are super useful. What is addition? Addition is like putting things together. When we add, we combine numbers to find out how many we have in total. For example, imagine you have one apple and then you get another apple and yet another one. In total, we get 3 apples. Next, let's look at the addition symbol. In addition, we use the plus sign to show we're adding numbers together. It's like a magical bridge that connects numbers. Now, let's move on to what is subtraction. Subtraction is like taking things away. When we subtract, we figure out how many are left after some are taken away. Similarly, we have the subtraction symbol. In subtraction, we use the minus sign to show we are taking away numbers. It's like a disappearing wand. So, how do we add? To add, we start with the first number and count on it. Let's practice adding numbers like 1 plus 1 and 2 plus 2. For instance, 1 plus 1 equals 2, and if we take 2 plus 2, we see that it equals 4. Now, let's talk about how to subtract. To subtract, we start with the total number and take away sum. Let's practice subtracting numbers like 3 minus 1 and 4 minus 2. For example, 3 minus 1 equals 2, and for 4 minus 2, we find that it also equals 2. It's practice time now. Let's try these. 8 plus 9, 6 plus 5, 8 minus 3, and 9 minus 4. The answers are 17, 11, 5 and 5. Moving on, let's explore the tens frame. A tens frame is a math tool to understand numbers up to 10. It has 10 boxes in 2 rows of 5, and each box can hold one object like a counter or a dot. Tens frames can help us with our addition and subtraction. Let's practice together. Now imagine you have a tens frame with 5 counters placed in it. This means that 5 out of the 10 boxes are filled and there are 5 empty boxes. Now, if you add 3 more counters to the tens frame, you'll fill up 3 out of the remaining 5 empty boxes. Counting all the counters, you'll find that there are now 5 plus 3 equals 8 counters in total, filling the entire tens frame. Next, let's subtract. Suppose you have a tens frame with 6 counters placed in it. Now we remove 3 counters from it. After removing 3 counters, we are only left with 3. Thus, we can use the tens frame to do subtraction. Now, let's talk about the number line. A number line is a line with numbers that we can use to help us add or subtract numbers together. For example, here's a number line from 0 to 10. If we want to add 3 plus 5, we jump 5 places ahead from 3. So, starting from 3, when we jump 5 places ahead, we land on 8. Therefore, 3 plus 5 equals 8. Now, let's look at subtraction using the number line. If we take 7 minus 4, we jump 4 places back from 7. Starting from 7, if we jump back 4 places, we land on 3. So, 7 minus 4 equals 3. Next, let's explore the number grid. A number grid is a map of numbers arranged in rows and columns like in snakes and ladders. For example, a grid from 1 to 100 has 10 rows and 10 columns. It helps us see and understand math operations like addition and subtraction. If we start at 8 on a number grid and move 2 steps up, we land on 28 because each step up adds 10. 8 plus 10 plus 10 equals 28. Now, imagine starting at 28 and moving 2 steps to the right. This would land us on 30 since each step right adds 1. 28 plus 1 equals 30. Moving left subtracts 1 per step. For example, starting at 30 and moving 2 steps left lands us on 28. 30 minus 1 equals 28. Let's move on to the magic sum. Imagine you have a 3x3 grid, like a small square divided into 3 rows and 3 columns. Each box in the grid has a number in it, but some boxes are blank. You also know the total sum for each row and column. For the horizontal sum, in the first row the sum is 15 dot. If we add 2 and 8, we get 10. Therefore, the blank is 15 minus 10 equals 5. In the second row, the sum is 10. If we subtract 3, we get 7 for the first blank. The second blank is 0. In the third row, the sum is 20. If we subtract 4, we get 16 for the first blank. The second blank is 0. Now for the vertical sum. The first column's sum is 17. If we subtract 3, we get 14 for the first blank. The second blank is 0. The second column sum is 7. If we subtract 2, we get 5 for the blank. The third column sum is 21. If we subtract 7, we get 14 for the first blank. The second blank is 0. Now, let's discuss bundles. A bundle is a group or collection of items put together. In mathematics, we often make bundles to count more easily. A common example is bundling 10 sticks together to form one group, or bundle of 10. Why do we use bundles? They help in counting large numbers easily, especially when we group things in bundles of tens. It helps in understanding place value, tens and ones. For example, suppose you have 14 pencils. Then you will have one bundle of 10 pencils and 4 loose pencils left. So 14 pencils equals one bundle of 10 plus 4 pencils. Now let's practice counting in tens. You have 10 apples in a basket. If Nani Ma adds 10 more apples each time, how many apples will you have after counting by tens? Start with 10 apples, then add 10 more to get 20 apples, and add 10 more to get 30 apples. In conclusion, we have learnt about addition and subtraction, the symbols we use, how to perform these operations, and some helpful tools like the tens frame and number line. Understanding these basic concepts will make math easier and more fun. We hope that you have understood the topic. You can now study chapter notes, watch video lectures, and solve MCQ tests of this chapter on EduRev to ensure you score well in your school exams. And that's not all. You also get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more for class 3. Thank you.